Welcome. Let's arrive together with one felt breath. Nothing needs to be prepared. Nothing needs to be managed. Just notice the body here, breathing, supported. Let the body listen before the mind explains. Up until now, we've been speaking about the inner landscape, inner coercion, residues, pressure softening. But relationships are where all of this becomes visible. Because relationships don't create your patterns, they activate what is unfinished. Especially where love is involved, attachment, belonging, being seen. That's where residues rise. You're sitting across from someone you care about. They say something, it lands, a tightening, a reflexive bracing. Maybe it's subtle. Maybe it's sharp. You feel it. A constriction in the chest, the breath quickening, the urge to smooth it over, to reassure, to explain, to correct yourself. That urge is not love. It's protection. It's something older activated. Residues in relationship can look like saying yes while your body says no. Anticipating someone's reaction before they've expressed one. Managing the emotional tone of the room. Holding back a truth to avoid disruption. On the surface, this can look like maturity, care, responsibility. Internally, it feels tight, effortful, like bracing. When an old experience was never fully felt. a moment you couldn't speak, a boundary you couldn't hold, a feeling you weren't allowed. It didn't disappear. It waits. And when relationship touches it, the system moves to control the present, so the past doesn't repeat. That control is inner coercion. Self-agency in relationship doesn't look like becoming harder. It doesn't look like sharp boundaries overnight. It looks quieter. The same moment, the same conversation, but instead of rushing to fix, you pause. You feel the sensations in your chest. You let the silence exist, not to punish, not to withdraw, just to stay. You don't override discomfort. You don't perform stability. You don't abandon yourself to maintain harmony. You remain. When agency is present, you respond instead of react. You speak without rehearsing. You say no without collapsing. You allow someone to be disappointed without rushing to repair it. Love becomes less effortful, not because you care less, but because you're no longer managing. Self-agency does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop self-abandoning in order to care. At first, this can feel unfamiliar. There may be less intensity, less urgency, less drama. That's not disconnection. That's contact without coercion. Let's pause. Notice where in your relationships do you feel pressure to manage, perform, or hold things together. And what happens when that pressure softens even slightly? Relationships formed from residue feel urgent. Relationships formed from agency feel chosen. Not because they stabilize your inner state, but because your body feels settled inside them. If you're noticing shifts, distance, reevaluation, more silence, nothing has gone wrong. Often, it's simply that residues are no longer running the connection. Self-agency in relationship is not withdrawal. It is intimacy without self-abandonment. If something in you recognized itself here, let that be enough. In the next episode, we'll explore what happens when residues resolve. And if at some point you'd like a quiet place to listen with someone, not to be fixed, not to be directed, but simply to sit with what's unfinished, there's quiet space for that through the Clarity Compass call.